Hey there, it's Billy. This is my presentation on the library session I attended on 3D printing a Halloween costume piece. So I'm just going to go over the session real quick and I'm going to talk about some applications for the classroom for this technology. So when we got there, the first thing they did was they handed everybody a MacBook. On the MacBook, there was a program called Tinkercad, so we logged into that. And what Tinkercad is it's a design software that allows you to actually build digital models of things that you want 3D printed. So they actually were showing us at the beginning of the class was actually this pumpkin that had some gears in it, so it would actually like bend and mold like a real pumpkin. So it was soft. So if you pushed it in, it would kind of go in and then pop back out. That was pretty cool. And then what they kind of directed us to do was kind of go online and find a design that we wanted to do. So I know a lot of people went Halloween costumes. Some people actually were looking at like holiday decorations for a Christmas tree or something like that. But what happened is they wanted us to download something that was pre-existing, almost use it like a template. And then from there, what we would do is we actually go into Tinkercad and modify it to make it more of an original piece or something that identifies with us. I know a lot of people, they decided to put their names on it. I found a ghost online. I just put a smiley face and like some like boogie boogie woogie like fingertips on it. I thought that was pretty funny. But I think what we realized too is that when the people running the workshop were walking around, they were kind of giving us more and more advice on it. Certain designs, although that you can actually do it in the Tinkercad software, you wouldn't be able to actually print it because of just the natural physics of how the 3D printer works. If you have something being printed over nothing, it has no supports and it would just fall over. So a lot of people, not me, I didn't go overkill with it, but they were redirected on their design. So if they had something spherical with something popping out on the front, they're kind of directed to go something with more of like with a flat plane, so they can print whatever text they wanted to on top of it. We didn't actually print our models that we had on the computer. They were telling us that pumpkin took 12 hours to print. That was kind of odd because I thought like the whole point was to actually go and print a thing. Maybe we had stopped by the lab earlier this semester. I thought that they were just gonna like put our designs in the machine and just give us a receipt and tell us to pick it up like this time. But I guess that's not how it works. So we walked away with a little bit better knowledge about 3D printing, but not necessarily a physical object to go home with. As far as applications in the classroom, I could definitely see this used to give examples of things that appear in books or maybe maps in like a history class. So like let's say there's an object of symbolic value in a book, but it's really hard or difficult to imagine what that object looks like. A teacher could probably find something online that already exists that they could actually print this model and use it as an example to teach the students, oh, this is what they're talking about in the book, and almost use it as kind of like a jumping off point, like what do you think you could do with this in the early parts of the book, and we can actually see what the character does with it throughout the book. History, like I was saying, maps, especially things with related to like war and why people would prefer to live in certain locations over other locations. If you could actually build model a 3D map in Tinkercad or AutoCAD for that matter, the one I'm more familiar with, you could actually kind of print a diorama where like, students can actually interact with, and they can actually, if they don't understand the spatial nature of what you're describing in the classroom, they'll actually be able to see it. So just creating a more accessible way for people who lack the spatial awareness through conversation to actually interact with the information you're talking about in the classroom. So I think that would be a cool way to model it. I didn't like building dioramas, so this would be a way better way to do it. I can hop on the computer and then print something cool. And I only have to print one because I can pass it around the class. Last shout out, I do have my personal 3D printed device right here. I'm going to bring it to class if anyone wants to talk about it. But anyway, that's it for me. I'll see you guys in class.